Hello and welcome along to the Jugsy, the Strange, and the Huda, the third episode of our brand new
Dan,
podcast.
take two. That you got that the wrong way round.
I loved it though. I was like, yes, I like
Did I get it
this. Just
wrong?
mix it up.
Completely.
That's fine. You could
You
finish
know, when
later
you're
than
halfway
me.
through something, you're thinking, I'm half asleep here.
Yeah.
Right, go again.
It's still quite
Okay,
early.
take it
That
away,
can go
Dan.
in the edit though.
Yeah.
And welcome back to the Huda, the Strange, and the Jugsy. It is episode 3 of our brand new podcast, looking at Parisian hockey predictions and hopefully getting you at home to join in with an array of global international hockey talent. It's been a fabulous opening 3 days so far of the Paris 2024 Field Hockey Olympic Tournament out at Yves de Manoir Hockey Stadium. Today, of course, as ever, we got myself, Dan Strange, we got Sarah Juggins, and Sarah, who else is our extra special host?
Well, she's returned from Paris. We've got Ava back. She's finished her stint running around the rooftops of Paris on the opening ceremony. She's finished watching in the stadium. She's back here to give us the power of her insight. Welcome back, Ava.
Thank you. Great to be back.
And of course, today, joining the Dream Team alongside the three of us is a very special player indeed. Yet again, we've got Rani Rampal coming in from India. Thank you for joining us, Rani. Now, Rani, just to give a bit of background, of course, you finished fourth as captain at the last Olympic Games. We're going to talk about that in a moment. You made your debut at 14 years of age. You participated in a World Cup at 15 years of age. You come from Haryana in India. An unbelievable story. Kalratna awardee, you got Padma Shri awardee, an array of just unbelievable success through your career. Just briefly, Rani, sum up your career and what it was like to perform for India as you did.
Thank you so much, Dan, for inviting me for this. And I'm really looking forward to this. And thanks to, it's my pleasure to join with Eva and Sarah also here. Yeah, it's always an honor and a privilege to represent your country in every game you represent. And I think I'm really blessed and lucky that I got that opportunity to represent my country for so many years, and uh, uh, I think, if I don't play hockey, I could never explore the world, the people I meet in so many years. So I think, yeah, it was really a great experience. It was really a lovely journey, till now, because my beginning was not really good, where I come from, but I think hockey changed everything. And in India, we always say, hockey is just not a hockey for us, it's a life for us, because if you do well in sports, you can change your life here. It's not like other countries where people just play for fun, even though if they want to leave the sport, they can leave, they can do something else. But we don't have the case here that yes, we love to play, we enjoyed hockey, but hockey is just not a hockey for us. So I think, yeah, it's an honor to represent the country in the last two Olympic Games, and playing with some of the best teams, best players in the world, and it was so much learning in this journey.
And of course, since retiring, Rani, but we'll talk about this later on, you've gone into not only coaching, but I saw a bit of TV presenting too. So, some of us around here have to be a bit careful. Rani's coming to get our jobs, which is fabulous to see. Now, Ava, just to switch across to your trip to Paris, you seem to be having a great time at the Dutch House. I saw some stuff on social media. How did you enjoy it and what did you see especially on the ground?
No, it was actually amazing to be there. It was just for the weekend, to pop over there on Friday and get back yesterday. It's just amazing experience to do with like all teammates, but even all the athletes who've been or who have won gold medals for Holland. Even going back to like 68 was just incredible to spend time with all these people together. And of course, the Team NL house, the opening of that. Of course, some beers flying around as well. So that was very nice and a lot of fun. And yeah, it was a first for me to experience it as a spectator. But it was actually so special, and I'm happy that I did it because, you know, a lot of people know that I didn't make the Olympic squad, and maybe some people wonder, like, why would you go? Like, why would you do that to yourself? But I'm happy that I could sort of have like given it a sort of positive twist now, and to experience it like this, and just still to be able to be somehow part of it in a different way, but yeah, still to be part of it. So I absolutely loved it. Stadium looks incredible. Weather wasn't that great yet, but it turned into a nice evening in the end. Saw the Dutch women play, beat France. I actually thought France played pretty well. First game, they were really pumped up and absolutely loving it. The crowd as well. So it was actually, no, it was very cool experience. I loved it.
Right, Sarah Juggins, I think it's time to blow your occasionally silent whistle and start the warm-up where we talk about the results of the second and third day.
Ready for the whistle?
It kind of worked today. That was better than it's been. So let's go back through day 2 and day 3. Of course, 28th, 29th of July. Of course, Ava there referenced the Netherlands beating France on day 1. I'm just going to go through the results, and then we can, each of you can pick out a game or 2 games that we can sort of pick apart a bit more. So on day 2, the 28th of July, we had the opening game was Belgium versus China women. A really interesting game there. Finished 2-1 to Belgium. Didn't really go with our predictions at all. In the women's again, Germany versus Japan. We all said a win would happen there between the 4 people on the last podcast. However, narrower than we thought. Germany winning 2-0. Australia women versus South Africa finished 2-1. That was a very close game indeed in the women's section. And Great Britain versus Spain, close as well, finishing 2-1 to the Spanish. Then Germany men played Spain men, the World Cup winners getting upset 2-0. Belgium men went close against New Zealand and eventually won 2-1, which Kelly Hudson will be disappointed about, but pleased with the Kiwis' performance. Netherlands men beat France 4-0, and South Africa men pushed Great Britain very close and drew 2-2. Now, let's just look across day 2 then. Ava, you're nodding and oohing at that last result. South Africa, Great Britain, I think you might want to come in on.
I think, yeah, I didn't watch the whole game, so I have to be honest with you. I didn't watch the whole game, but I watched the last little bit, and I think beforehand South Africa would have been happy with a draw, but probably looking back at the game, they were like, we could have won this, hey? So I'm very happy for them that they are playing well and that they got to this result. But I think in the end, they might feel like that they gave it away a little bit.
Sarah, did you watch the game?
I did watch the game, and I loved it. I thought it was probably the feisty game of the tournament so far. I thought the umpires actually, I thought, handled it really, really well, because it could have blown up into. But the thing that, I mean, from a Great Britain perspective, I thought that the ending, I thought they kept their heads really, really well at a time when they needed to. But my word, South Africa are going to cause a lot of problems for a lot of teams, because they just play this. It's sort of unpredictable. It's sort of uncompromising, and their defence. I mean, that everything goes on the line every single time. I thought they were astonishing. I'm really, really impressed.
And Rani, on day 2, what game stood out for you?
I think Belgium China women's game. I watched that game, and like in first 2 quarters, I was like, it was very a messy game for both the teams. But somehow Belgium managed to win in the end. And yeah, but I think China could won that game, but it was for the both teams, and it was their first game for both the teams. So the playing their first game for the Olympics is always a difficult game. Lots of pressure. First time getting on the Olympic field. So yeah, but I think Belgium would be happy that they at least start their campaign with the 3 points.
Yeah, happy indeed. And Ava, if we look at the Parisian hockey predictions, you're first nil point on that one, because you said that Belgium would win 2-1. Sorry, Belgium did win 2-1. You said China would win 3-2. So how did you assess that game?
I actually didn't see that game, so I only saw the results. But I thought China would maybe beat Belgium. But I know Belgium have a good squad, so they're solid. Did I actually put them on the podium, or didn't I do that?
Belgium with
women.
China, you did. Yeah, you had them as one of your 4 picks. Yeah.
And Belgium, no.
Belgium, I don't believe you did. No.
No,
You're
no.
gonna
But
have
I
to.
do.
You're gonna send me going
You
back
can't
through.
change it now.
You're
No,
gonna send
I
me
know,
back through
I know.
predictions. Ava de Huda had on the podium Netherlands, Argentina, Australia, and China. China were your
Yes.
wild card.
Yes, no, I know I can't change it, but I do think Belgian women could make their way onto the podium.
I've watched Belgian women for a number of years now, and I think the thing that's let them down in the past has been almost a lack of self-belief in themselves, because I've watched them get to various quarterfinals or semi-finals, and they've crumpled at the very last post, where I think this result perhaps shows more, dare I say, backbone, whether they've got a bit more belief in themselves and where they're going. But I wanted to ask Ava, what's Alison going to be saying to the Chinese after that first match? Is it going to be gentle coaxing towards the next game, or is it going to be a real sort of tongue lashing?
No, I think it might be a good mix, knowing Alison. I think she really knows when to maybe be more like firm and strict, or when you sometimes maybe need a kind of push in a good direction. So I don't really think the Chinese women need that slashing, because I do think they're quite how do you call it, like they work hard, they really want to do well. And I think if you look at where they come from and how they are already playing now, it's already incredible what they are showing. So yeah, I don't think those girls need much to be or like to want to do better and to perform better. So I think she won't be too hard on them, no.
Another game that really stood out on day one, day two for me, result-wise, was that Germany-Spain men's match. Of course, world champions started very well in Paris. Spain didn't start well. Max Caldas doing what we suggested he might do. And you say about the way Alison deals with players, and when to get fiery and when to maybe not get fiery. And this could be any coach in the world, but we sort of said, would Max go maybe a bit harder on his players, or would he put an arm around their shoulders? Whatever he did there, Spain men responded to.
No, definitely it did work. And now I'm actually scared for South Africa, because they're going to be next to play the Germans, and I think the Germans might just want to set something straight there. So yeah, I think this could be quite tough one for South Africa coming up.
Right, looking at day three's predictions, just jumping back for a second, the only golden score that I've got on our book for day two was Great Britain women's Spain. It finished Great Britain 1, Spain 2. Sarah Juggins called that result perfectly. So 3 points there. And I will take you through how the leaderboard looked. In fact, if we go to after day two, Dahuda 25, but De Jugsy 27, 2 points clear. And the two teams so far deducted points. Some say fairly, some say unfairly. Had De Strange on 24, and the Dream Team, after Andy Halliday had points ripped away from them in the last podcast. They, at the moment, after day two, were on 22 points. So just a little bit of a sort of stretch in the leaderboard. Then moving on to day three, we'll again rattle through the results quickly. Ireland men really close against Australia. They lost 2-1 in the end. They'll be disappointed, but a really close game. Japan women versus China, an all-Asian clash there. 5-0 to Alison Annan's team. India men versus Argentina. Rani will talk to you about both these results in a second. Finished 1-1. Really close match and a really good match there. Spain women USA, 1-1 as well. Great Britain Australia, very one-sided. Hockey Roos taking a 4-0 win. South Africa women versus Argentina. Some eyebrows raised for the South African performance, but it finished 4-2 to Argentina. Germany women Netherlands finished 1-2 to the World Olympic and everything champions, the Netherlands. And then France, Belgium, next door neighbours, and the Belgians, well, won comfortably in the end 5-0. So lots for us to look at on day three yesterday. Rani, I'll come to you first.
Argentina and India men's game yesterday. Yeah, if I look back, I feel like, yeah, thankfully, India drew that game. But it was really difficult, in the beginning. Like Argentina took the lead, and then they got the plenty stroke, and luckily he missed the plenty stroke. The Argentinian player, and Harmanpreet managed to score in the last 59th minute. But I think uh, India could won that game, and but Argentina also could win that game. How they were playing, they were pressing really hard, and they got so many opportunity. But yeah, this is Olympics. You can't say this will win this. And nowadays, if I see the plenty corners become a headache for every team. Honestly, most of the teams are getting 10, 12 plenty corners, and everyone is saying, yeah, they are not scoring, they are not scoring. But I think the rushers from the other teams are really, really doing so well. They are putting their body, in front of the ball because yeah, they all want to win. So I think, yeah, yeah.
Can anyone else think of a player you'd want to be stood at the top of the circle in the 59th minute more than Harmanpreet at the moment? I think the way he does it in the Pro League, and doing it, yeah, scoring 59th minute in a match in the Olympics, which is a crucial game for them as well. Really unbelievable, Ava.
No, I agree. I think they had quite a few corners that game though. So it was sort of like you're almost waiting like when, well, it's not really like if he's gonna score, but more like when. And then this last one, probably you're like, surely now. And then like he does score in the end. So no, I think in the end, we're happy that they got the draw.
And similar, of course, with Sam Ward. I know Shipley scored the goal, but against South Africa, stepping up, and it's the older, experienced, quality head. Jugsy, for you, what stood out on day 3? I can see you looking at your paper with pen in hand, thinking very studiously about what you picked out.
Well, I just thought there were some really interesting games. I mean, I think USA women are surprising us. The result against Spain, I don't think any of us predicted that. I can't remember, but as always, they're showing tenacity, and it's this building into a tournament, isn't it? And I think this is what we're going to see teams doing really well. I mean, Germany versus Netherlands, we spoke about that game. I was really excited because I did call a draw on that. But as we were talking about just before the show, actually, the Netherlands always find a way to win in the end. And again, that's knowing tournament play. And quite often it's not necessarily the players that lead that, but it's the coaches who understand tournament play so well, and they instill in their players this ability to get a result, to play above what you're perhaps expecting. But yeah, I think the German women after that game should take an awful lot of positives away. I think USA will take a lot of positives away. I think the team from yesterday that really won't have many positives, and this is again a case of complete unnational biases, GB.
Yeah, completely agree. It was slow. There was very limited. It's the lack of ball forward for me with them. But you look at Australia. Australia played very well. I think what Australia have to be cautious of is that they don't get, and I don't think they will, but they don't get complacent off a result like that, because I think almost it was playing a team struggling, not necessarily being to the real level they probably want to set. So we're going to then look at the standings. Our standings, of course, not the Olympic standings. Why would we look at those? Our standings, and well, it's really, really stretched away after day 3. The Jugsy top of the table after day 3, 40 points. Ava's only clapping because she knows she's nearby. She's on 38. She's poised, ready for another Olympic gold. The Strange is on 36 with that dreadful -1 taken away for, what was it, bias or... If I had 2 points taken off, didn't I? I had 2 points taken off.
Yeah.
That must be on 35.
Are you sure it's not more? Are you sure it's not more?
Not at the moment. Hang on, is that asking again?
No. As Kelly said, Ava asks very nicely, so that's fine.
We didn't actually bring that up. Ava, you do know, I don't know if you saw the last, but I know how busy you've been, but Kelly Hudson stood up for you and refused to take a point off for you requesting Jugsy having points taken off in our WhatsApp group. She stood up for you.
Well, luckily Kelly is on our WhatsApp group because actually, no, I'm joking. Thank you, Kelly. I really appreciate it. I haven't seen it, but I will definitely look back. I have to see this actually.
And the Dream Team,
Thank
well,
you.
they're 10 points behind at the moment. They're on 30. So, Rani, we're going to move on to the predictions in a second. You've got some work to do to help out, because after Andy Halliday's been on wearing Great Britain kit and talking a lot about Great Britain, they've their scores have plummeted. So, Jugsy, time for the whistle to end the warm-up. Our silent whistle's back. And immediately you can blow it again because it's time for the quarter of Parisian hockey predictions. Right, so how this works, again, the whistle's not working, but luckily we are, is we're going to go through all our scores, predictions, 4 days, 4 and day 5. So for the 30th of July, 31st of July, we'll go through them nice and quickly. And of course, we'll also add in comments around the game. So starting off in the men's section, we got a team that bounced back brilliantly against Germany, Spain playing against France. Now, you can't get more tasty local rivalries at this Olympic Games than that, especially with the history between the two teams. Of course, France's head coach used to be the head coach of Spain. Jugsy, I'll start with you. What's your prediction on this game?
Yeah, it's 4-2 to Spain.
4-2 to Spain, says Jugsy. Okay, Ava, where are you going with this one?
I actually wrote down 4-2 as well.
4-2 as well. So 2 4-2s. And Rani, your prediction for Spain versus France?
Spain 4-2.
Spain 4-2. So we've gone 4-2. I've gone 3-1. Ava's gone 4-2. Jugsy's gone 4-2. And the dream team. So the next game up on day 4 is South Africa men versus Germany men. So Ava, I've got it down as a 4-2 win for the German team. Where are you going on this one?
I've got a 5-2 to Germany because, like I said earlier, I think they will come firing.
One less than Ava. I'm 4-2 to Germany.
A lot of 4-2s today. And Rani, for that one, what's your prediction? South Africa men versus Germany.
Germany 4-2.
4-2 as well. Wow, that's 3 4-2s and a 5-2. Let's see if that plays out. Now, massive game. Great Britain men versus Netherlands. Two teams that I've said before the tournament, Netherlands win the tournament, Great Britain finish second. I think Pepper's coming back, although Pepper did go on strike the other day and flatly refused to predict a score and was given it literally on the nod on how much she stared at a team.
And she stared correctly at Spain, if you remember.
Well done, Peppa.
So
Great Britain, Netherlands, Pepper, what's happening?
hang on, look at both of them. Look at both of them. Oh.
Yes.
So
It's a Great Britain win. 3-2.
3-2. Now, Jugsy, I would like you to ring your bell, please. Because I am calling that you get Dr. Point. Because Pepper, I believe, was about to make a decision there, and you pushed her, you forced her to look also at Great Britain when she seemed adamant that she didn't want to look at Great Britain. So I believe Jugsy is getting removed a point for her bias towards Great Britain there. I'm sorry, but, you know, fair's fair.
I've got such a big lead. I can afford that.
Well, that docks you one closer to Ava currently, so let's wait and see. Right, where are we at? We've said Jugsy went 3-2 Great Britain. Rani, what are you saying on that one? Great Britain, Netherlands.
2-2.
2-2. Huge game, huge result if that was the case. And Ava, no national bias here, please.
No, I've got a 3-2 for Holland.
3-2 for the Netherlands. Well, that, again, a huge result for them and continuing their good form in the competition. Rani, with you next for Ireland men versus your beloved India. How is that one going to finish up?
Hey, you didn't say your score.
I didn't say my score. That's 2. I went 2-2.
Oh.
I forgot. I completely forgot to say my score.
That's
I've
okay.
gone 2-2. Great Britain versus Netherlands.
Because we don't want you to be like, oh, yeah, you know, I actually said, and then the score that
Slipping
happens.
a result in there.
Exactly.
I think
Thank you
that's
very much. Thank you very much.
Nations are cheating. Would I ever cheat? Would I ever cheat to try and gain a competitive advantage? I hope no one who I've ever played against, especially anyone from my club, messages in. Moving on to Ireland, India. Rani, on that one, where are you? Can you see the boys in blue getting a result?
3-1 to India.
3-1 to India. So they bounce back in fine fashion after the draw against Argentina. Jugsy, do you agree with that decision?
I agree with the win, but I think it's going to be 2-1.
2-1. Ava, I will just, for complete transparency, tell you I've also said 2-1 on my sheet in front of me.
Ooh, okay.
Ava,
I'm gonna go for 4-2.
4-2 to
India.
4-2
2
India.
4, sorry.
Of course, don't forget with that one, in India, in the Pro League earlier this season, it took a Gurjant 59th minute goal for India to beat Ireland in one of those Pro League games. So it could be very close indeed. Ava says 4-2 to the Indian team. Right. Now, I'm pained to go against them here because I feel like they're bubbling on into something. I think Kelly Hudson might exit the WhatsApp group if we continue. But Argentina, New Zealand. Ava de Huda, what score are you giving that one?
I've got a draw. I think it's going to be 2-2.
2-2. Rani?
Yes.
I think same because they both, I saw them playing with India, and so they are really equal team. So it's 2-2.
And Jugsy?
I'm going to try and get back in Kelly's good books. I think that New Zealand are going to sneak a 2-1 win.
The reason I laugh is I'm trying to get back in Kelly's good books too, and I've gone 3-1. I've just got I just got a feeling that New Zealand are warming up into the tournament and they are going to get a result against one team, maybe even two, and I think Argentina could be that team. The last match of today, Australia versus Belgium men, could be a huge game. Potential medalists both. Jugsy, where does that one finish?
I've gone Belgium. I've gone 3-2 to Belgium.
3-2 Belgium from Jugsy.
But my head's doing this because I think it could be the other way around.
Ava and Rani are both nodding. Either of you give us your score because I think you're both going to slightly agree with Jugsy that it could be very close.
Yeah, I think it could go either way, because they both are um, good teams, and 3-2 both ways.
3-2 both ways. Rani,
No,
we're going to
but
have to push you.
3-2 to Australia.
3-2 Australia. So, Ava, which way are you going?
I think it's going to be very close, but I hope it's going to go big as well. So I say 4-3 to Australia.
4-3 to the Australian men. So the Kookaburras, that'd be a huge result for them. And on that one, I am sitting on the fence. I've gone 3-3. It's interesting how we're all seeing a lot of goals in that game. Of course, a replay of the Tokyo Olympic final. So looking then on to tomorrow, we're recording this on the morning of day 4, so the 31st July, looking ahead. In the women's pool, we've got Argentina versus Spain. Now, I think this is going to be a fascinating match. Rani, you've got experience of playing both. How do you see Argentina, Spain finishing up?
Yeah, I think Argentina will win 3-1.
Ava, do you agree or do you go with your European counterparts?
I think it's going to be a close game because they have sort of like a similar playing style. I don't think Argentina has been playing the way they can play yet. So maybe they are really going to play well against sort of like a similar playing style because they know it. But I think they're just going to win it with 3-2.
I'm the same thought process. Argentina to win 2-1.
Well, I've gone against everyone. I've gone Argentina 2, Spain 3. This is such a flip around from the last World Cup, where I was Argentina's biggest fan. I just think Spain are going to get the result. I think it's going to be probably their biggest result of the whole games for Spain, and I think they're going to get over the line. Right, South Africa women versus Great Britain women. Ava de Huda, what's your score prediction?
2-2.
2-2.
Yeah.
I've gone 3-1 Great Britain, although I think South Africa will take the lead. Jugsy?
Spoke about all these teams that are sort of playing their way into the tournament. I think Great Britain are playing their way out, and I think South Africa are going to win 2-1.
Well, you can't gain points for unnational bias, but if you were to, then you would.
Is that what she's trying to do?
Yeah, I think she'd get 3 there for playing their way out of a tournament. Big talk 2 games in. Rani, what are you thinking on that one?
I think the way South Africa is playing the women's, they're gonna beat 2-1 tomorrow.
2-1 tomorrow. It's
Would be a big win for them, eh?
Yeah, how they played yesterday against Argentina, I'm sure they got a belief that if we can hold Argentina, or we can lead them in a first half. So the way GB is playing now, so I'm sure they can get some pump up and they can believe that yeah, we can beat them, because I think but I know, like I was talking to their physio yesterday, and they're like, yeah, we are looking forward to the GB and US game. We want to beat both of the teams to make it to the quarterfinals. And I'm like, yeah, okay.
But I always find it so interesting because like it's all in your mind. For like if you talk about South African women now, like even yesterday, then you're leading against Argentina, and then you start thinking like we can maybe actually do this.
Yeah.
Like what happens then on the field? I just find it fascinating. If you look at it, you almost see like a shift. And the same as the South African men playing GB, it's like when it gets into your mind that you could possibly win a game that big for them, it's almost like you start playing differently because you get nervous, because you sort of go more into your head instead of just like playing how you were playing because you were playing brilliantly. And I think that's just the hardest part, especially at the Olympics, where you're playing games like that are that big and with that much pressure, and you're not used to play in those big games or at those big moments. Yeah, I think sometimes we forget about that, but it would be great if South Africa could pull it off. But I think that is the hardest part about it, actually, to win a game.
And it would be a massive result if they did. France, Germany, talking about big games for some teams. For France, women, another massive game for them. Chance to play against the German team. I've not backed them here. I'm going to put my cards on the table straight away. I've gone Germany 4, France 0. Sorry to the French fans. Apparently, I was talking to my sister who's commentating on basketball out in Paris at the moment. And Ava, you'll back this up. The French crowds are fantastic, so that will help. But Ava de Huda, what's going to be the score in France-Germany?
The crowd's absolutely incredible. Like I was sitting in that hockey stadium, and it was just so much fun. I couldn't believe it because I've never experienced it like that during a hockey game. But they kept on singing, they kept on backing their team. Every save, every attack, they just cheered on their team. It was just absolutely incredible. But I do think Germany will beat France with 4-1.
2-1.
4-1, sorry.
Sorry, 4-1. Okay, cool.
Yes.
So 4-1. Jugsy, backing that up, going against the grain, calling a massive Le Bleu win.
No, I would love to see France. Well, I think they're going to score a goal. I'd love to see L'Hôpital score a goal again. That would be great. But I've gone 3-1 Germany.
Juggly stole my answer actually. Now I was thinking 3-1, so 3-1 to Germany.
Sorry.
3-1.
I can see into your brain.
But I really again, want to see the France girls. They just debuted in the Olympic Games, and the way when they scored against Dutch team, and the way celebrating, because I know for them it was a huge moment. And I experienced that like in last Olympic Games when we were playing against Netherlands and we scored the first goal, because you always want to compete with the best in the world, and especially scoring against the best is always a moment of pride. So I think, yeah, as Eva said, the crowd is huge for them there, and they are playing their first Olympics. So yeah, 3-1 to Germany.
Rani, just to pick up on a point about the last Olympic Games for you, what did it mean? What was it like being part of that history-making Indian team, of course, under Shiv Morina? What did it mean to you to be part of that team in Tokyo?
It's like a lifetime memory, but at the same time, we always feel like, yeah, there is a pain in the heart, because you were so close to the medal, but then you are far away from that. I think there was always close games in Olympic Games. In semifinals, it was 2-1 against Argentina, and uh, in a game we were thinking like, we can beat them, because the way we were playing, we were fighting. But yeah, and in bronze medal game, it was like we didn't started well, but and in the second half, it was like a different game for us. Uh, but it was a good experience, but fourth place is always hurt the most, because you always feel like, yeah, you were so close to the medal. And I'm sure if we got that medal in Tokyo, and the women's hockey in India would be different, which is now. But yeah, I think it was not bad playing your second Olympic Games, because we never qualified before 2016 in Olympic Games. 2016 was first time for us, qualifying for the Olympic Games, and we finished 12th out of 12th, you know. So after 5 years cycle, especially the time of COVID, where everyone was struggling in the world, and you were not allowed to train how you used to train in those times. So it was difficult, but finishing fourth, and it was a huge thing, because that changed the momentum in India for women's hockey, where people don't even know about women's hockey or don't talk about women's hockey. It was all about men's hockey all the time, So I think from that perspective, it was really good. But unfortunately, we didn't kept that momentum this year, where we can make people that they start their day with the women's hockey. They should be excited. Yeah, we want to see the women's hockey in India. So yeah, it's sports. Sports is very cruel.
I think the way that women's hockey was supported during the Pro League in India this year, and I said this numerous times on commentary, I think a Women's World Cup in India has to happen soon, because there were what, 13, 14, 15,000 fans at games in Bhubaneswar, games in Rourkela. What do you think of that, Ava? What would it meant? Would it have meant to you to play a Women's World Cup or a joint World Cup in India?
I think it would be incredible, actually, especially in the two city that you just mentioned. I think maybe a joint one would be like I think I've played one joint World Cup, and that was just incredible. It was honestly like one big hockey party, like a celebration of hockey, which was, yeah, just incredible. I absolutely loved it. And I think if you would do that in India, it would be extraordinary. Yeah.
Love to see that then in next few years, that India host a women's tournaments like World Cup, So let's see. Hopefully things change in future.
Yeah, I think the positivity is building, and I think Hockey India are, as they've shown in recent times in the last year, they are getting more and more tournaments there, and it's about the little steps building to the big one. Okay, looking at probably the biggest game of day 5, Germany men versus the Netherlands, neighbours, foes, rivals. Ava de Huda, you know about playing in games like this against Germany. What will the score be between Germany men and the Netherlands men?
Yeah, it's a big one, hey? And it's one of those ones that could go both ways, because it's going to be very tight and a very close game. But I think Germany will get away with a win here, 4-3 to Germany.
What a game that would be. 4-3 Germany,
Mm.
7-game thriller. Jugsy, you're staring very knowledgeably down at your sheet again, like the stats have been pulled into play.
No, I was just thinking it's really odd, because I've got a 7-goal thriller as well, but the other way around. So 4-3 Netherlands.
As you said, 7-goal thriller, I wrote down the score the other way round because I predicted it gone the other way. And Rani, for you, another 7-goal thriller?
Uh, Definitely, because both the teams love scoring goals, and they play fast-paced hockey. So I think it will be a 4-3 to Holland.
4-3 to the net. Wow. So we've got two 4-3s to the Netherlands. And the Dutch person goes the other way around. Not for the first time on this pod. Ava de Huda.
You always need that one who's going to go the different way, So you just need that little.
Exactly.
Yes, something's happening now. That's cool.
I've gone Netherlands 3, Germany 2.
Oof.
Although I've actually got a feeling it might be a draw, but my prediction is Germany 2, Netherlands 3. So we'll wait and see. Now, this is another very interesting game, and a really interesting sort of clash of styles in how they play. On this one, I've gone 4-3 to South Africa.
Ooh. Huge call.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Ava, do you agree? Do you disagree? What score have you gone?
I do agree with you. I've just gone for 3-2 to South Africa.
Eva, you stole my answer again.
Everyone's stealing your answer, Rani.
So Jugsy, are we going clean sweep South Africa, which probably completely puts the mockers on the poor South African team? Are we going clean sweep South Africa on this one?
We're going 3-3.
3-3. Those two games could be just the best advert for the game of hockey. I genuinely think, although they might be dreadful now that we've said that, but Germany, Netherlands, Spain, South Africa could be absolutely brilliant. And then to finish, again, another huge game, another brilliant advert for the game in the women's section of the Olympic Games out in Paris. Netherlands versus China. Of course, Alison Annan knows the Netherlands team very, very well. Any upsets for you there, Rani? We'll come to you first. Any upsets, Netherlands, China?
No, I think Netherlands will definitely win 2-1.
But you've gone close, which is interesting because when I tell you my score, it's a 1-goal difference again. Ava, I'm going to leave you till last because I think there's something to pick apart in this one from you. Jugsy, what are you saying?
Yeah, I haven't been overly impressed yet with the Netherlands, but it's a slow burn for them. But I think they are going to win 4-2.
4-2. Right, Ava, the floor's yours. Netherlands, China.
I do agree with Jugsy a bit. I think the Netherlands can play better and they haven't showed us yet what they're capable of. I think it's going to be close, but I do think that they will beat the Chinese women in the end. So I think it will be 3-1 to Holland, to the Netherlands. Yeah.
3-1 to the Netherlands. Another game which could be absolutely brilliant, especially if China can score first. That
Yes.
really could open that game up because, as you said, well, the comment the other day that someone said to me from in the stadium was the Netherlands came off the match against Germany and were almost bickering a little bit, which is unusual to see, arguing amongst themselves a little bit. But if China can kind of get under their skin in that way, that game really, really could open up. Right. That's the end of hashtag Prison Hockey predictions for days 4 and days 5. So, Sarah Juggins, in the absence of Kay Hudson, I need you to blow the whistle. We're going to finish off with extra time, just sort of any other business around the Olympics and around what we've all seen. Sarah, blow your whistle once more to start extra time, please. So into extra time, let's quickly look at how the table stands in our hashtag Prison Hockey predictions. Well, Sarah Juggins has lost a point today earlier on, so she goes down now to 39 points from what we said earlier. Of course, the scores can change during the pod if you lose points. Rani, well, she lost 1 point for her dream team because, Sarah, you pulled up Rani on this. What did she say?
Well, I didn't interrupt her because she was on such a great flow and talking, but she referred to my beloved India, which I mean, that's national bias. I would never say my beloved GB.
Yeah, so
I didn't say that, I think.
Rani, with you next for Ireland men versus your beloved India. How is that one going to finish up? So I'm on 34 points now for the 3 pods so far. And Ava de Huda has brought in a new rule because she's been Dr. Point for gloating.
And I'm the ref's favourite.
Oh, come on. You've got to take a point up for that.
Which, Jugsy, I think no one can argue on.
No, I think Ava if I'm going to lose a point, Ava definitely needs to.
Guys, just looking back on the first 3 days of the Olympics in general, what's been your overall highlight?
I just think the level in general has been really good. I love it how a lot of games have been quite close as well, like either like big scores or like very close and tight games. It was incredible to actually experience it. So that was for me a highlight too, to be there over the weekend. French crowd, absolutely love them. Yeah, that's about it for me.
Rani, highlight of the game so far, hockey or otherwise?
It's like, good to see teams who always other teams thinks they are the underdog teams like South Africa, both the teams, men and women, you can't predict them in any quarter. And especially the debut team, France. They are putting a great show there, and and to see, yeah, Olympics is again happening with the crowd, because last Olympics was totally different with the empty stadium. So this time it's like your different experience.
I mean, there's been some fantastic play all round, but I loved the reaction to the French. It was L'Hopital, wasn't it, who scored the first French goal for the French women's team. I thought that was a magnificent moment. And what I love about the hockey competition in the Olympics is absolutely every game is played at such 100% max. You know, you see an awful lot of the sports where it's a gradual build up to a maximum performance, whereas the hockey guys and girls get on the pitch and it's out there straight away. Such a great advert for the game. Every single match that I've seen so far.
For me, it's been seeing the likes of the Kelseys in the stadium enjoying the hockey, getting some global attention. Rao Dravid there for India, watching the hockey, and I think putting hockey in the spotlight is always crucial. I love Spider Cam. I think that is a must on hockey coverage. It's opened up the game so much. There's been other things away from hockey as well that I've really enjoyed as well. I'm enjoying, as you say, the atmosphere looks absolutely electric out in Paris, and very inspiring for all. Right, everyone, Jugsy, it's time for the final whistle. Don't forget, if you're enjoying what we're doing, please tell the world. You can follow us on Instagram at Dahuda Strange Jugsy Pod. We'll be recording again actually in about the next 36 hours, where we've got a Great Britain star joining the Dream Team. They just missed out on the cut to go to Paris. Don't forget to join in, #Parisian Hockey Predictions, and put your scores in the comments below and play along at home. Well, as ever, to Ava Dahuda, thank you so much for joining. To Sarah Juggins, thank you for your time. And Rani Rampal, it's been absolutely brilliant to get your insight and have you on the show and have you scoring points. Hopefully, we'll wait to see, but hopefully scoring some points for the Dream Team, because blimey, do they need them. Everyone, thank you for coming on.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Well
Thank
played,
you.
everyone.
See you all soon. Goodbye.